What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks back with another Moderna update video, ticker symbol MRNA. We'll take a look at why the stock was down a little today, some key support and resistance levels that we have coming up, and why I'm not worried just yet, even though we see a little bit of a red day today. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on Moderna are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me hit record and we will get right into it. Like I said, we had a little bit of a red day today, which we were down $4.64 on the day, 3.5% down today, down another 30 cents after hours. So we're talking about a $5 down day. Now, we had kind of talked about this in the previous video, right? We talked about, hey, we are up to $130 from $102 in a matter of 2 weeks. So a little bit of a pullback could be coming, and we did see that today. Now, the reason we saw it today is a little bit different, and I'll cover that at the beginning of this video. Then we'll take a look at, how it traded, future levels of support and resistance, everything we do with the stock chart analysis. So as I'm sure some of you guys heard, there are some reported allergic reactions to their vaccine. Now, it's obvious that there will be some level of allergic reactions to any vaccines, right? And that was something that was expected. But over the weekend in California, there was a specific lot, it looks like, that had a higher than usual number of possible allergic reactions. And Moderna has acknowledged receiving this report, and they are looking into it, right? So they're working closely with FDA and CDC to understand clinical cases and whether the broad pause in use of the lot is warranted, right? So what they're saying right now, what California is saying is they're going to pause this, every kind of vaccine that was in this batch, just because they're seeing a higher number, not just because they're seeing a higher number of people getting this allergic reaction. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you guys posted as we see more developments. Now, I don't know what that was. Taking a look at, how the stock traded. Yeah, I don't know. That must have been a pop-up. Taking a look at, how the stock traded today. Now, if you want to see more about kind of Moderna as a company, I made a video over the weekend, a couple days ago. Feel free to check that out. That's a much longer video talking about, all the deals they have, all the news we've gotten in recent times, and all that good stuff. So feel free to check that one out. This one I'm going to cover purely kind of how the stock traded today. So as we expected from that news, right, a little bit of a sell-off. We closed in the 130s. We saw a little bit of a gap down to 125. And at the beginning of the day, we dropped to 120, recovered pretty nicely to 126, swing down to 121, push up to 125, 122, 125. So a pretty wild day for Moderna typically, right? We've seen crazy sell-offs. We've seen pretty nice up rides, but we haven't really seen up, down, up, down, up, down as much as we saw today. So let's go to the daily chart and we'll kind of see. So for those of you that have followed me for a little bit now, for a while there, we were looking at this downtrend where we were making lower highs, lower lows. Stock was not looking too good. We dropped all the way from the 170s to pretty much 100, stopping kind of at that 102 mark, right? Now we've started to push right back up, and since the fourth day, I drew this line going upward. And we talked about, hey, it's really important for us to stay above this line, close above this line, and kind of continue that trend upward, right? So even today, if we take a look at the candle that we had during the day, first of all, we did push up after the gap down. So we opened 122, we ended 125. So close to close, we are down $4.64. But if we take a look at where we were at the beginning of today and where we are at the end of today, still a little bit of a push up. Now, even with that push down, we are still above our line, which kind of makes me happy, right? Because we found support there. We closed above that line. And if we take a look at the indicators, we did break below the 8 and the 21, right? Which were at 123.58 and 123.09. Right, we broke down below it during the day, right? The key is we closed above them, which is great. We did break below them, but if you take a look at this, line here, the 34 EMA number and the low, The 34 EMA was 121.20 and the low was 120.50. So we were about 70 cents lower than the 34 EMA, which is good because we kind of found support at that 34 EMA level, right? So that's something that I really like about today. One thing I like is that we closed above all the EMAs. Great news for the stock. The second thing is we found good support at the 34 EMA, and we are above this diagonal line moving forward. So what are our levels of support and resistance moving forward? We've got the 8 and the 21 EMA and the 123s. I think that that's our first level of support. Now, I understand that we are probably going to get more news about these allergic reactions, and that could lead to a little bit of a selling off. So if that happens, then I'm watching this 34 EMA at 121. And then if we still see a sell-off, then I'm watching this 55 EMA at 114. Now, I don't personally think we go all the way down to 114 unless we keep getting bad news on bad news on bad news. And I think that, once the Biden administration comes in, their plan is much more aggressive to get people vaccinated. I think that will play a key role with Moderna too, because they could be placing orders a lot faster, or additional orders as we kind of start using the supply that we have, which could be good news for Moderna. That being said, though, I want to point out this level of support since we could go down there. I mean, we were there just a week ago, right? So we could revisit those levels. Just want to point that out. So yeah, first level of support in the 123s. Remember, we're in the 124.70. So if we continue seeing red, we break through that pretty fast, I think. 34 EMA at 121.20, 55 EMA at 114.83. The other thing I want to point out is we were making nice higher highs, higher lows for a little bit there. So you could also take the low of the previous day as a potential level of support, right? So 120.74, 117, 112. Those could kind of be three levels you look at as the stock if it starts to go down. That being said, still remain bullish on the stock in the long term, looking for that push towards 145 that I've had for a while, hoping for that to happen sometime in the first half of 2021, giving myself a lot of time, continuing to hold my shares for the time being. The other thing I want to point out is, look, we've gone up from 102 to 120s, 130 at one point. A little bit of pullback, a little bit of profit taking is healthy. A stock should not go up, 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 up. Although that's nice to see in your portfolio, it's not sustainable, so it will pull back. I would not be surprised if we see a little bit of consolidation happening too before we push right back up. I do think it's going to go up long term. Personally, right? Don't invest based on that. Make sure to always do your own research. I think we go up, but I think we could see a little bit of consolidation, or if we see bad news, or not bad news, but more news about the allergic reactions, we could see more of a pullback, more profit taking as well as people look to, cash in on their profits. So that's what I'm looking at right now. If this line doesn't, I'll be looking for this line to hold. That would be amazing. But if it doesn't, we've held it for about 2 weeks. We flipped the trend. We went up. It's okay if it starts to consolidate before starting to push right back up. That being said, I'd be totally happy with it pushing up. So that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, if you want more info on Moderna and everything they have going, news, why I like this stock in 2021, feel free to check out my video from a couple days ago. I cover all the news we've gotten in recent times. I just don't want to cover that on a daily basis since it's time consuming and such. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.